on airplane mode. You can put me on.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another edition of the Tuesday Night Flight. Looks a little odd right now because I am sitting solo for right now. The Midnight Rider is on special assignment. The gentleman Jack will be joining soon, but I had to get in this thing because we got some things that we need to do and take care of. So before we take care of that, I just wanted to say good evening. Hope everybody's feeling really well, feeling good, because I am. I'm feeling good on this Tuesday evening. So again, this is a Tuesday Night Flight. And buckle your seatbelts. Make sure your trays are in the upright and folded position. And don't forget that if we have a water landing, your seat can be used as a flotation device. Starting this thing off with a little college basketball. My girl, Audie Crooks, is unstoppable. She hit a career high 47 the other night. Her style of play, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Her style of play has been said that it may not translate to the WNBA. I think it's the shot in the arm that WNBA needs because she's a traditional big. She's averaging this season in 9 games, 27.3 points a game, 5.9 total rebounds, and 2.1 assists. She's shooting 73% from the floor. Ain't taking too many 3-point field goals. It's not her style. 73% from the line. I'm not mad at it. She is absolutely unstoppable, and I mean that in every way, shape, or form. And I say that because 47 is not easy. The young lady is going to be a 20-20 player. What is she? She's 6'3". I had her weight up, but she's 6'3". She's strong. She's agile. Man, don't let me coach her. Because if I coach her, you already know what's going to happen. I'm going to put her right on the left block and let her go to work all day long. So that's easy work. So I'll say this. Shout out to Audie Crooks for doing your thing. Keep it up. I'm with you. I'm a fan, and I've been a fan. Before we jump into the next topic, let me throw this out there. I don't know where some people come off with the falsehoods of these reports. I don't know how this happened last week, but it was said that Lions cornerback Lynn Barney had died. Like the Pro Football Hall of Fame reported it. Everybody was reporting it, and he hadn't died. It was reported in some places that Art Monk had passed away, and it never happened. It's been reported today. Before showtime, I had been trying to track down the source, find out if it's true. Cedric Sabalas posted it, and I didn't want to say anything until I found out if it was true or not, saying that Eldon Campbell had passed away. And I said, if this is true, we got to find out if this stuff is true. I'm tired of these fake reports for clickbait, and then you click on it, it's not true, and it's like, oh, come follow my page. No, I don't want to follow anything about you. We're joined by the gentleman, Jack. Jack, just telling the people about these falsehoods posted all over.
Man, I had so many people contacting me about that Art Monk thing, dude. My cousin, guys I play ball with. And I'm talking about within a short period of time, it wasn't released. 15 minutes, phone blowing up, They know we on top of our local sports, of course, but sports in general. So yeah, they was like, JC, what's going on, man? Art Monk. I'm like, oh damn. So then I did my homework before I shared it, because I have shared some of that junk before in the past. And that's terrible. what they can do online, man. This AI generated stuff is crazy. So yeah, you're tugging on the heartstrings, man, when you're talking about somebody dying and they ain't die. So
Right.
I'm right there with you, KG.
It's absolutely bonkers. But please, before you share anything, please vet your sources. Google is free. So that's that. Gentleman Jack, let me ask you this first. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm all right. Little hectic. We just had a virtual meeting about my property and them building properties around building, I should say structures, not properties, building structures around my property. And as most of you know, I live on an island. I live on Kent Island. And they're just trying to flood me out, man. I live next to the lowest elevation on my street. I live next door to that lot. My lot is not the lowest elevation, but it's close. It's second lowest. But when they build this new house, they're going to raise it 5 feet with fill dirt, and now I'll be the lowest elevation. So the wife and I are fighting. The neighborhood was behind me. I had plus 20 people in that meeting supporting me, and it's just a great feeling to hear people that I don't even know their names saying my name. So I don't know how it's going to go. It's the county said they can't do nothing about it. If they do it, the landowner's going to sue them, and they can't afford that. But this is the state now. The state environmental and wetlands committees are looking at that. And environmental and wetlands are big over here on Kent Island because that's where the water goes when it's not going to your house. So it seems like a clear-cut case to me, but money wins a lot of times in cases like this, and I'm not money. So, that's what's up with me right now. But I'm ready to get into this show, get fired up.
Well, I'm about to get you fired up. I'm about to get your mind off some things. Let me ask you this. Where we starting? Are we starting with the college football playoff bracket, or you want to start with the list first?
Let's go with the list first, because we're probably going to talk about a bunch of these guys in the college football playoff bracket. So let's get the list done and jump into that bracket next.
All right. So you heard them, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the list. This is where the Midnight Rider, Gentleman Jack, they list their top 5 college football quarterbacks. As of right now, so week to week list, it can change at any moment. Hopefully guys that can go from 10 can go to 1 or at least go to 5, but I'm biased. So I'll leave it off. I lead it off by saying number 5.
Well, we got Coach Drew Roberson is in this here with me at Midnight Rider, and I got Coach Drew Roberson. He has moved Dante Moore, Oregon, up to his number 5 spot. And Dante's playing some ball. I give him that. He's playing some ball and deserving of a spot on the list. On my number 5 spot, KG, I'm moving Trinidad Chambliss into my top 5 now. He's been lingering in my honorable mentions. Trinidad Chambliss, if nobody knows, is the QB over at Ole Miss. Had a tough game this week, and they had tough situations this week with their coach, jumping ship. And that's a whole nother discussion I hope we have time to get into after or during. Yeah, we can probably get into that during the bracket, KG, the whole shit that's going on with these coaches jumping. But Chambliss had a hell of a game the other day, 23-46 for 309 and a TD. I just think he keeps improving every week. So that's my number 5.
All right. Number 4.
Number 4. This is another quarterback that I'm high on as well, but I don't have him in the top 5 this week, Coach Roberson. Coach Roberson's got Gunnar Stockton from Georgia at the number 4 spot. Gunnar has been in my top 5 and out of my top 5. As everybody knows, he's been a little up and down like some of the other quarterbacks out there this year. But at number 4, I moved Dante Moore into the top 5 as well, the Oregon quarterback. He was swinging in my honorable mentions. I can tell you a bunch of the guys that I bumped off my list once we're done. So go ahead, KG.
You got to hit him with the number 3.
Oh, second, number three. Number three, Coach Robeson's got Ohio State quarterback Julian Sayin. Julian Sayin, I like what he's been saying and doing. You know what I'm saying? I love the last name. But yeah, he just doesn't make my list this week. But at number three, I have Fernando Mendoza, Indiana. Fernando has been hanging at the number one spot in my list. Probably for the past 3 weeks, but he just didn't control the game. I felt he dropped in my list. So Fernando Mendoza is my number three, KG.
And then we're gonna hit the number two.
At number two for Coach Robeson, and I wish Midnight Rider had submitted his list because all our lists are getting very similar now. And that just goes to show how the cream is rising to the top. And at number two, Coach Robeson has Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza. I believe he had Mendoza at number one last week, so he noticed some drop as well. At number two, I got a quarterback that's been hanging at my number five spot, but I thought he had a superb game against Vanderbilt last weekend, and Joey Aguilar at Tennessee. I tell you, I think that boy is going to be playing on Sundays. I like Joey Aguilar at Tennessee at number two, KG.
All right. Now we're going to hit the top spot as Public Enemy number one.
Number one. So, number one, me and Coach Robeson, I'm going to announce them together because I wouldn't be surprised if Midnight Rider had this at number one as well. It's Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt. Diego Pavia, the game he had last weekend was off the chain. How do you come out and throw for 268 and rush for 165, KG? Cheese and rice, boy. That's a game right there. He's already got over 3,200 yards passing with 27 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Diego Pavia, man, he's just doing it all. And to see Vanderbilt up in the, top 15s, top 10s all season, it's been a great, pleasant surprise to see Vandy football hyping up. And it just goes to show you, man, you get the right NIL hookups, these squads can be some. If the right alumni guy, how would you say the alumnus? If they kick out the millions and say, hey, bring in these two players, and it's sick what these boys are making. And you heard Lane Kiffin mention that in his speech the other day about the money these kids are making. This life-changing money, NIL. Crazy, KG.
It is. And that's why you got a lot of kids that are coming into the college football system, and they're staying 4 years because they're making more money sometimes than turning pro. Because
definitely.
So, you said something that I wanted to get to before we get to the college football bracket because it's going to tie into that. It's going to be a good segue. You talk about some moving and some shaking.
Ooh.
And you talked about Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin leaving to go to LSU. And I heard that he wanted to coach for the rest of the season, I think through the playoff. And the school said no.
Well, they didn't want, because recruiting starts next week or something like that. So they didn't want him being involved in Ole Miss recruiting. And then him saying, but look, shorty, I'll be over at LSU. Come to LSU. That's why Ole Miss said, roll out, Chuck. Roll out. And it's bullshit. These teams should not be allowed to get these offers from other colleges while this season is still being played. That's not fair to the kids. It's not fair to the fans. It's bullshit. Let me hire this cat. Oh, damn, we getting ready to go into the playoffs and shit. I might get a natty. Nah, I'm going to take $90 million from Florida, and I'm good. In other words, he's saying F them kids, F them fans. I'm sorry, it sucks. But you look at guys like damn, where'd my list go? The coach over at Tulane, he got a fat little job. Coach over North Texas, he got a fat little job. But both of them coaches is going to finish their damn season, KG. They is not leaving till after the show is done.
And I respect that because a lot of coaches have left. Going into this is before we had playoffs. You're going into a bowl. And as you're getting ready for the bowl, you're distracted because your coach is talking about leaving the program. And this is before we had the transfer rules we had now. If you're old enough and from a certain generation, you remember if you transferred schools, you had to sit out the next season before you played.
Yeah.
So you had guys that would lose time following coaches around and then think about the guys that you've recruited that are coming in next year, and you got a 5-star recruit, a couple 4-star recruits, and you leave and you go somewhere else, and you don't have scholarships for those guys. What are they supposed to do? And I just think it's a dumb move, and I'm gonna take the role of Midnight Rider here because when Brian Kelly did it at Notre Dame because he cared about his family, I hope I said that right, but because he cared about his family, he left us high and dry. But Marcus Freeman coached us in that bowl game, and we won a bowl game for a change. And I'm absolutely happy with that. But this is absolutely crazy. Maddie said Lane Kiffin did what Lane Kiffin does. And I said this a couple of weeks ago. Lane Kiffin is just making it off of the last name. One thing he'll never be the great Monty Kiffin. That's what he'll never be. You'll never be your dad. Your dad, the inventor of the Tampa 2, and another guy that I think should be in the NFL Hall of Fame along with Dick LeBeau. But that's just my opinion. And he's living off the name of his dad because he hasn't been that great of a coach. So back to the list real quick. Midnight Rider said his 5 is Reed, 4 is Moore, 3 is Sayin, 2 is Pavia, 1 is Mendoza.
Yeah, Midnight Rider. Mendoza didn't drop at all, huh? I figured you would have dropped him too. Coach and I both dropped him a little. I dropped him 3 spots. But yeah, I like what you got. I mean, Moore deserved to get on back up in there. And you've been high on Moore for a while, Midnight Rider. You was talking Oregon early on in the year. It's just saying I just don't feel that Ohio State has played that many tough squads, man. They're undefeated. They're defending champions. They deserve to be number 1. I don't despair of that, but I don't think they're playing that great of football. So I wouldn't have them that high. But we can't have the same list, can we, Midnight Rider?
True indeed. Now, let me get a countdown of your list first.
Okay.
And give me Coach's list.
Okay. I'm writing down Midnight Riders. My list. Number 1, Pavia, Vanderbilt. Number 2, Aguilar, Tennessee. Number 3, Mendoza, Indiana. Number 4, Moore, Oregon. Number 5, Trinidad Chambliss, Ole Miss. Coach Robeson. Number 1, Diego Pavia. Number 2, Mendoza, Indiana. Number 3, Sayin, Ohio State. Number 4, Stockton, Georgia. And number 5, Moore at Oregon. I dropped Marcel Reed and Stockton off my list. Both of them I felt deserved to drop. The boy Mensa from Duke. I know I like Duke, but he's throwing the ball well. Sawyer Robinson, Messmaker at North Texas. I'm really anxious to see him play this weekend. They're going to be on national TV playing their conference championship. So I think everybody should check out that kid, Messmaker, quarterback, North Texas. See what he's really about. He's got yardage for days. Coach Robeson had a couple honorable mentions. Chandler Morris, he likes at Virginia. He put a new one down that I haven't seen too much. Baron Morton from Texas Tech, and he has been high on Arch Manning as an honorable mention for the past couple of weeks. I do believe Arch has very much improved since week 1 and 2, but Arch is a 2026 project, in my opinion.
I can believe that. I can believe that. Josh
And
is,
I got the new coaching stuff that I noticed. It was Eric Morris from North Texas. He got the Oklahoma State job, but he's going to be able to coach North Texas through every game that they are eligible to play the rest of the season. And I believe Ryan Silverfield at Memphis might have the same agreement with Arkansas. And the Tulane coach, John Sumrall, the Florida guy, is going to be able to stay at Tulane until it's done. So there's been a lot of coaching things going on in the last couple of days because there's some deadline coming up. I feel so terrible that I don't remember what it is, but it's within the next week. That would be a good idea to have a coach in your spot. And Penn State still has not made a decision on a coach. So you would figure the bigger colleges would lock these coaches up pretty quick, KG, you know?
Well, Penn State might want to make a splash because they need to return to glory per se, but I think they may want to splash. They may not get nobody in the college ranks. They may get a pro coach that's either let go or decides to say, you know what, I'm going to chase the money because Penn State got deep pockets.
Deep.
I mean, I think I'm going to be honest with you, Jack. I think I might throw my hat in the ring, see if I can take that because that would be good for me and my family.
Yes, sir.
Josh from Highly Opinionated, he says the Heisman will be decided in the Big Ten Championship. Not so fast, my friend.
Nah.
The Heisman is already decided, and it's Jeremiah Love. If anybody else wins the Heisman other than Jeremiah Love, it's a Travis and mockery. And this is the same thing that happened 35 years ago, and I'll be pissed.
I disagree. Heisman's in Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt or Indiana. Those two guys right there are going to lock it down.
Okay, which Indiana? Because Notre Dame's in Indiana, too. Which Indiana you talking about?
I ain't in South Bend, baby. I'm not in South Bend. I'm in Hoosier land, where they shoot hoops.
Come on, man.
But I just think if Pavia puts up another game or two like he did last weekend, cookie. And he's just ready. But he's got to wait till the decision because they're not in a championship week game. So we'll see what he can do. You got Georgia and Alabama, Stockton, and what's that boy's name? What's Alabama?
Ty Simpson.
Ty. You got them going head to head. You got Indiana, Ohio State going head to head. Texas Tech, BYU. I don't think that's got no Heisman implications. You know a date of the Heisman? I can't remember when that is.
I know it's this month. It should be in the next couple of Saturdays. When?
That was right before Christmas or something.
When did they decide the Heisman?
I like that.
Shit. But I'm gonna tell you something. Jeremiah Love is far and away better. He has 1,372 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
14 touchdowns, 280 yards receiving with 3 receiving touchdowns. He has 1,600 all-purpose yards and scored 126 points.
Boy, don't get me getting my list out now. Come on, Cookie. Running back Emmett Johnson at Nebraska is putting up nice thing. Hardy at Mizzou is putting up nice stuff. Much better than Love. And I would say Hardy at Mizzou has played stronger teams than Love.
Next Saturday, 8 o'clock. That's when they're giving it out.
Okay.
Thank you, Midnight Rider.
Yes, thanks. No, Mississippi State or that Ole Miss got that Lacey boy. But, yeah, Hardy and Johnson are both over 1,400. Nobody is near what what our guy last year was doing. Boise State running back.
Scatbo.
Nah, the Boise State boy.
I'm not Boise. You talking about Genty. I'm sorry, Genty.
Yes, Ashton Genty. Nobody's near 2,000 yards. I don't think
that used to be a thing. And Maddie said running backs don't win the Heisman anymore. We about to change that.
I don't think
and
so.
Vandy isn't playing anymore. Heisman is Mendoza unless Ohio State D shuts him down.
You say it's being selected this weekend?
No, next weekend, the 13th.
Oh, so this weekend's games will count. It kind of sucks that other teams aren't playing the game this weekend.
Well,
but
I think this is championship week, so this is all your championship.
Where you should be.
But I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm telling everybody listening: if Jeremiah Love does not win this Heisman, this is going to be a repeat of 1990 when Rocket Ismail should have beat out Ty Detmer to win the Heisman. Because Rocket Ismail had all the points, he had everything, a winning record, a great team around him. And you telling me that he didn't win the Heisman over Ty Detmer? I've held a grudge against Ty Detmer since then. He didn't do it.
Yeah. Detmer was where? Houston?
BYU. You know, BYU was like Houston with that run and shoot offense, so they threw a lot.
They threw a lot. He was throwing for 500 yards. It was sick.
But that's why Andre
schedule sucked. Yeah,
Andre Ward. That's why he was it Andre Ward? Yeah, Andre Ward, the quarterback. That's why he won the Heisman, because they threw the ball all the time.
Florida State.
Is it Andre Ware? I'm sorry.
Where? Florida State.
Andre Ware, Houston. Him, David Klinger at Houston. They just threw the ball a lot. These dudes are throwing the ball so daggone much. It was a run and shoot offense. They just constantly chuck the ball.
Yeah.
You're going to have the stats, but it's not translating to a team thing. See, Jeremiah Love's stats are translating to a team thing. The team goes as Jeremiah Love goes.
The team goes as the whole rushing attack goes. It's a 2-3 piece rushing attack. I mean, Love is the main horse in this race, but Notre Dame's got some running backs. They really do. They got the best rushing game in the country, in my opinion.
So, before we go to the college football playoff bracket, this is our bracket that's coming up. This was put together on Drive Time, which can be seen and heard here Mondays at 5 p.m. Before we get to that, let me tell you this. You can catch the Tuesday Night Flight, Drive Time, Pretenders or Contenders, Unapologetic Sports, Nothing But Net, In the Passenger Seat, the Thursday Night Throwdown, the Saturday Night WrestleManiacs, the Gridiron. You can catch all of it on their respective days. Monday at 5 for Drive Time, Pretenders and Contenders Monday at 7, Unapologetic Sports 6:30 Tuesday, the Tuesday Night Flight at 7:45 on Tuesday, Nothing But Net at 7:30 on Wednesday, In the Passenger Seat at 8 o'clock on Wednesday, Thursday Night Throwdown at 7:15 on Thursday, the Gridiron at 11:30 on Saturday, the WrestleManiacs on Saturday at 9 p.m. You can catch all of those live on Facebook, YouTube, and occasionally some Instagram. But the audio version of those shows can be heard the day after they air in the morning. So be sure to check that out. We are on every podcasting platform from Odyssey, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Podbean, Podchaser, Podtail, whatever you can pod on. We on all of Apple podcasts as well. So make sure you check us out and you don't miss an episode because you're subscribed.
Heck yeah. KG.
Yes, sir.
I saw something else about this whole running back situation that me and you were bouncing back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
The running backs I mentioned, all of them got over 250 carries, okay? And they're 1,400-yard rushers at this point. I'll give Jeremiah Love some depth, man. He's got 1,300 on 185 carries. So, I mean, I know he's a great back. I think the trophy's going to a quarterback, especially if one of these boys, I don't know, I think it's going to one of them quarterbacks playing this weekend.
We're going to find out. We'll find out next Saturday. So that right there, we might have to figure out how to do a watch party for that, because then I might have to take my glasses off and slam him down and throw him across the room if he don't win the Heisman. So, college football playoff bracket. Now, this is the drive time consensus playoff bracket. This is what Matty Ice, Scooter, and Showtime Sarah have put together for us. And this is what we're going off because the official one is not out as of yet. They have it as follows. Number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, Indiana. Number 3, Georgia. Am I right with that? That's right. That's okay. That is the current one. Number 3, Georgia. Number 4, Texas Tech. Number 5, Ole Miss. Number 6, Texas A&M. Number 7, Oregon. Number 8, Alabama. Number 9, Oklahoma. Number 10, BYU. 11 is Virginia. 12 is James Madison University. The 5 automatic bids are Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech, Virginia, and JMU. First teams out are Notre Dame and Vandy. And I told Maddie, I said, you're killing me softly.
Yeah.
What do you think about that right there, Jack? That playoff right there, as of right now and where we stand.
You know, the whole playoff thing when they started it, about 3 weeks ago or so, showing us the brackets, the seedings, the this, the that. It never meant anything because it changed every week, damn near. So it's, the conference winners, man, are going to be sitting right with them buys. But I think there's going to be some feelings hurt, no doubt. I got Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Georgia as the 4 to get the buys. Then I got Alabama at the 5, Ole Miss at the 6, Texas at 7, Texas Tech at 8. Texas, that's what's going to hurt some people's feelings when Texas makes this list because they're a 3-loss team. And I think they deserve to be on it because of their schedule. They played a lot of ball teams this year, not no cupcake schedule. So number 8, Texas Tech, 9, Oregon, 10, Notre Dame, 11, Virginia, 12, JMU. So I threw your Notre Dame in mind right now, but it could change by Sunday, KG. So I've always erred on this list and these brackets that are being made because every week they can change from when we started.
You're right about that, but if I'm not mistaken, I think the season is done for almost everybody. I know Notre Dame's season is finished. They finished out with Stanford, and Notre Dame went on a 10-game win streak.
Yeah,
they're ranked at this present point number 9 in the country, and your top 12 teams right now, top 12 teams in the country as far as this is the college football playoff top 25. Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia, and this is all in order, Texas Tech, Oregon, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Alabama, BYU, and Miami are your top 12 teams.
Wow.
Right now.
Wow. Who was that? AP?
Is this AP? I got this off of Google.
God damn. That list sounds crazy.
On the outside looking in right now, it's 25 teams. On the outside looking in, you have Utah at 13, Vanderbilt 14, Michigan 15, Texas 16, USC 17, Virginia 18, Tennessee 19, Arizona State 20, 21 is SMU, 22 is Pittsburgh, 23 is Georgia Tech, 24 is Tulane, 25 is Arizona. So you got some teams, and BYU sitting at number 11 at 11-1 is a shock, but I'm not really too shocked. Virginia sitting so far down. I think that's going to depend on what they do in championship games. A lot of people, this is going to depend on championship games.
Yeah. No, that surprised me what you said about Michigan. How'd they stay 15 when they got banged out by Ohio State? I thought they were 18 coming into the week, but yeah, that sounds crazy. I had a top 10 I threw together, and if you want to look at that one while I read this one, tell me some differences. I got Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia number 3, Oregon number 4, Texas Tech 5, Texas A&M 6, Ole Miss 7, Oklahoma 8, Notre Dame 9, Texas 10, Alabama 11, Vanderbilt 12.
Now you got Texas and Vanderbilt in there.
Okay.
And in this particular top 12, there's no Texas, no Vanderbilt. I
Okay.
heard Ole Miss. I think everybody else is in there.
Okay.
It's just not those two. But Ohio State and his, I want to see. Matter of fact, let me pull that up because we got championship games. Let's see what the matchup is for this weekend.
Yeah, it's just 10 games this weekend, KG. I think it's just
that's all
10
to decide.
games.
That
I
should
got
be
the
all
whole
to
rundown
decide.
right here.
What's the name?
What?
That should decide your championships.
Yeah.
The SEC championship is Georgia versus Alabama. That's going to decide seeding because I think if Alabama loses that, I don't think Alabama hurts if they lose. Georgia
It's
on the
going
other
to be
hand,
hard. It's going to be hard to hurt losing the SEC championship. I mean, shit. The best two teams in the best conference? I mean,
yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you one that's going to hurt, and this is going to be this is college football game of the week. Write it down. Take a note. Number 1 versus number 2, Big Ten championship, Ohio State versus Indiana. That's Saturday at 8 p.m. That's going to be the one that's going to hurt some feelings because the loser of that is going to drop.
Yeah.
And Maddie said that was last week's playoff top 25 for playoffs. Last week's playoff top 25. Okay. Alabama last year didn't get in with 3 losses. Be surprised they put them in this year. I don't know. If Alabama beats Georgia, you got to put them in. You got to put them in. Then you got Duke versus Virginia for the ACC championship. If Duke beats Virginia, Virginia's got nothing. Then the
Duke's
Big 12.
got nothing.
You say what?
Duke won't make it if they beat Virginia.
Oh no. Duke would have
ACC will get thumped if Duke beats Virginia, but Miami still might squeak.
Agreed. I can agree with that. BYU versus Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship. That's crazy because that's 5 versus 11. So that's going to hurt some feelings too. Because if BYU is able to, BYU can cement themselves. They beat Texas Tech. They can cement themselves as a participant in the dance, if you will. But Texas Tech can fall very far.
Yes.
Then the other one you have is Tulane versus North Texas. Those are the 5 games this week.
I think you're going to see some numbers in that Tulane North Texas game. I think that's going to be a high-scoring affair. North Texas, 11-1. Tulane, 10-2. And they're playing down in New Orleans. They're playing in New Orleans with that. So that's Tulane territory, isn't it?
Yep.
That's kind of funny with North Texas being the home team, it looks like. But maybe it was already set to be playing in Louisiana before it was decided, because a lot of these are off location, you know.
Right, neutral sites.
Neutral site, correct.
Maddie said loser of Ohio State, Indiana will still get a bye if that game is close.
Correct.
Josh says Alabama will be fine if they lose to Georgia since they already beat them earlier in the season. Texas A&M should be the old team. A&M feasted on a weak SEC schedule. And Lee Ice checking in. He said, I think if Ohio State loses, they can still bounce back and win the chip. But if Indiana loses, I don't think they recover. See, here's the thing. All I want to do is get to the dance. As a Notre Dame fan, a Notre Dame supporter, I just want to get to the dance. I want to get back to the championship game, and I want to face Ohio State. I want to run through Ohio State like X-Lax for what they did last year. I wasn't able to show my kids something that's never happened in their lifetime. I want that championship for Notre Dame. That's all I want. I don't care who's in my way. I want to knock them off and get out the way and move on to the next. That's all I want. Am I biased? Yes. Some of these teams,
Nah.
some of these teams, I don't really feel that they're better than Notre Dame. I think just because Notre Dame got off to a slow start, that's why they're ranked so low. But Ohio State can be beat.
Yes, I agree.
Indiana can be beat.
Mm.
Texas A&M can be beat. Georgia can be beat. You know, I look at a lot of these teams, 1 through 12, they can be beat. I would love to take on Miami in a bowl game, and we get a good old Catholics versus convicts. We get a Catholics versus convicts thing, and we're good to go. And we just go ahead and take them on out.
I hear you.
So,
well, they was talking today, some college football experts, and they was saying, you know, let's get the 10 of the 12 locked. And then if there's 4, 5, or 6 teams fighting for them last 2 spots, let them play in. I don't think this needs to get any bigger. I recall Midnight Rider mentioning it may go to 16. And that would probably be for that format right there, to have like a play-in joint. So you know you ain't getting some sucker types that's going to come in there and get smoked 70-0. You know what I'm saying? Let's get them smoked in the play-in. But I just don't think some of these teams can hang.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, sir. No, sir.
Why?
Having a play-in, I don't even like the play-in in the NBA.
Neither do I.
Either you put the work in during the season to get to the point where you're in the dance, or you don't go to the dance at all. It's not well, you were kind of good, sort of good, so you can come to the pre-dance and we'll see if you're good enough to make it. No. Stop giving out participation trophies. Hell no.
That's a different bag of worms, KG. The damn NBA, man. It always used to blow my mind that half the league gets in the playoffs. I used to always think that was a trip. But now, more than half the league gets in the playoffs. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
If you think about it.
About the money.
Remember, it used to come down to the last game of the season where some teams made the playoffs. You fighting for your playoff life at the last game of the season.
Yeah.
College football. You want to do a playoff, you got to fight for your life. When you're college basketball, you got to win a certain amount of games and have a certain amount of RPI. Are you on the bubble? Is your bubble going to pop? It's so much that goes into it just to make the field of 64. But now it's the field of 72 damn near. But what is it, 68? So you got I don't like to play in games there either. Because it's participation. Oh, these are the first 4 teams in. No. Please stop. Don't do that.
Money.
Don't do that.
They insulting our intelligence, KG. They insulting our intelligence. It's like I say, man, like Midnight Rider, it's money. All they worried about. Not just good competition. I'm not for the participation stuff either, man. No way, Jose.
I just
first time they gave me a trophy for doing nothing, man. My dad left it at the field. I say, Pop, I forgot my trophy. He said, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Yeah, that's the only time I ever got a participation trophy, dude. And I was probably 6.
Speaking of the Midnight Rider,
oh, man.
He has come in to talk about his family and what that means and moving around. Midnight Rider, good evening to you. How you feeling?
We've been quoting you.
I've been listening.
Look, I've been trying to hold it down for you, man.
You did a good job.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked what was it? I don't know, man. Today was a good show. Good day for shows, man. I watched Unapologetic at 6:30, man. Then I've been watching you guys. I actually would have been joining you at 8:15. But road construction turned me around and delayed me like 20 minutes. So I know Jack was talking about the list. I saw that, held it down.
It was good.
I know y'all were doing the college 12. I don't know where you are. So just give me time to get my bearings and I'll jump in with y'all.
Okay. I mean, we kind of saw that at the end of it because we were just talking about participation. And Jack was talking about. You said that they wanted to expand
Yeah.
the
16.
playoff system and kind of have a play-in. And I was like, we were talking about play-in is like it's dull, it's dumb because you're gonna have half the country in a system. Like, okay, we look at college basketball. We got a play-in game, and you got 68 teams, and it's a formula that's put together. But that formula doesn't even work anymore nowadays because it used to be 15 to 20 games. You kind of on the bubble. Let me rephrase that. 15 to 20 wins, you're on the bubble. You had 20 plus wins, you at least in the tournament. You might be a lower seed, you might be a higher seed, depending on what conference you come from. But it's not like that anymore. Now you got 20-win teams. It's not even getting called to go to the big dance. And it's kind of odd to me. And I think that's what's going to happen if we do a play-in with college football. You're going to have double-digit teams that are good that are not going to get into that play-in because, they didn't play anybody.
So I think that's not going to be the way the system's going to be set up. It's going to be a 16-team tournament. So that way you have 8 home games at 8 different venues, being the backgrounds of the college campuses. So whoever you have 1 through 8 right now, and so 1 through 8 would be the host schools, and then 9 through 16 would be the visitors at those different places. I don't think you're gonna have like a play-in and a play-in. I don't think that's the way. I don't think that's the way.
I heard that discussion today that it could possibly be 10 get in and the next 4 got to play for 11 and 12.
I can see that. That makes sense because then that takes away the Miami Notre Dame argument. It's so some things, but I mean, eventually we're getting to 16. I mean, let's not fool ourselves. And I think by adding a play-in, I think 14 doesn't work because that puts another week on these kids' bodies. And I think if we truly care about the kid and the academia part of this, I think, like Maddie says, it's going to 16. I think it has to go to 16. And I think there's going to be, like we talked about before, I think there are going to be some guaranteed spots held for the SEC and the Big Ten because they basically run college football right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, look here, Midnight Rider. Let's back that thing up a little bit. What do you think about, what happened? It's already happened years past, and it's happening again this year. Coaches being lured away right before the playoffs and not participating in their team's playoff run. Lane Kiffin is doing it. A couple of the smaller school coaches that got raises, as you could say, going to Oklahoma State and a couple other schools, they made deals to be able to coach their team through whatever last games they have. When are they going to implement some kind of rule that you can't do this till after the season's over? Why is this happening?
Oh, that's a great question, Jack. And first and foremost, you got to remember that the NCAA has no spine, no backbone, and the leadership of the Mickey Mouse Club. So, and even Mickey Mouse makes whoever the commissioner of the NCAA look like a fool. The problem is, the schedule. When you implement, there was no forward thinking on this NIL part and the way the process works and the way the playoff system should work. So the calendar's all jacked up. You got kids that's got to transfer out, not because they want to go into the other school in January, because that's when the semester starts. So the system really doesn't support the system that's in place. You just threw down this big thing called the playoffs in the middle of it and told everybody to figure it out. Same thing they did with the NIL money. There's no structure to this. And unfortunately, I think the reason Lane Kiffin can't coach coach Ole Miss, because if I'm if I'm Ole Miss, why do I want the guy that went to my rival coaching my team?
That's right.
I think that's the difference between his situation, and the situation with the Tulane coach, the North Texas coach, and those guys is they didn't go to across the street to somebody they fight all the time. They went to other schools and got bigger opportunities. And it also hurts because it makes Ole Miss look like they're a feeder school now. And no school in the SEC wants to be seen as a feeder school.
No, sir.
So I think those are the reasons right there why his situation changes. And I think the reason this is gonna be a struggle until something that drastically changes is you're gonna have these situations every year. You can have players transferring out before the playoffs every year because the system is screwed up. And you can't fix it right now. Somebody's got to be brave enough to put a stop to it and say, hey, we got to restructure this from here to here and make it work.
Very thorough, very thorough. I like that. In other words, NCAA just jumped in the pool and didn't know how deep the water was.
Mm-hmm.
Know what I mean?
Yeah, they jumped in and didn't know there was piranhas in the thing.
Not at all. Not at all. And how long is this going to go?
Well, the
unstructured.
problem is the NCAA has been waiting for Congress to step in and try to help them legislate it and figure it out. Congress wants nothing to do with this. The NCAA really can't do anything because the cat's out the bag, and really anything that they put in place. I mean, you see the money that LSU is paying their coaches. They got 3 coaches. They're paying Orgeron 17, Kelly 54, and what's called 93. You don't think a school with that kind of pockets or schools like that with like-minded would just say, all right, you want to do it this way, we're going to take our stuff and go here and start our own new league, because that's what we're on the verge of. So
starting a new league. I know what, I'm not gonna get into it. We're gonna take a break, come back, talk some NFL. Hold on, Anthony got a comment before we do that.
Anthony.
The committee is BS and has a double standard. I'm not a fan of the Seminoles, but they don't hold it against the Rebels that they lost their whole coaching staff to LSU.
Well, you're talking about 2 different scenarios. We had the luxury of watching Florida State play a game without their quarterback. And that's what made that change. They saw it and was like, no, we can't do this, or we don't want to do this. And then it didn't hurt, because I told y'all before, when we were doing that set of games, the 15 was Alabama. Why have a damaged Florida State team when you can have Alabama? And that was all that played into it. It was the politics of the thing. Just like Anthony's probably going to come in here in 2 weeks when this is finalized and talk about their BS because maybe Miami doesn't get in. Maybe Miami and Notre Dame doesn't get in.
Okay. And let me give Midnight Rider one more college football.
Let's do it. Do it on the other side of the break.
Yeah, because I got a question. I got something to ask him too. So look, we're gonna put him in the doomsday device and see what he got to do. See what he's gonna do.
Percolator. Time for the percolator.
Stay tuned, y'all. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. This is the Tuesday Night Flight. I think I just jumped into a hornet's nest because I'm getting peppered with questions, but that's cool, man. Let's go, fellas. This is part of the reason we do this. You know, I love this part of the day. But just before we go, Tuesday Night Flight, that's the Gentleman Jack. I'm the Midnight Rider. Your host is the big guy KG. He's going to take it away from here.
Well, I'm gonna throw it over to Jack because Jack had a question before the break. So let's get Jack in on that question. Then I got a quick question that's rapid fire. It don't need much explanation. I just need a name. Go ahead, Jack.
All right. This is going back to the quarterback list. The list.
Okay.
It looks like I thought you had Mendoza at 1 last week, but
I had him at 2 last week.
Did you? Okay. And you moved him up after that game he had. Diego Pavia, the game he had versus Tennessee, 268 yards passing, 165 yards rushing. That's a Heisman game right there if I ever saw one. What did you think about that performance from Diego?
I think the performance is great. Here's the question that everybody, I heard you guys talking about running backs and all this stuff. Yeah. I remember 5 people get invited to this event. And those names kind of go out like midway through the season, sometimes a little bit later. And some of the votes come in early. Now, what Pavia would have to hope is that the voters in the Southern region held their votes until after last week and watched that game and changed their minds. Otherwise, he might be in trouble. He might have lost some votes to like a Ty Simpson because they're both kind of in the same region. So sometimes the regions vote for their guys, but if they're splitting the vote, that might hurt them more than anything. Because they're splitting votes. Another guy to worry about is y'all talk about Indiana. Mendoza and Love. Do they?
I think that's the three favorites right there.
Huh?
I think that's the three favorites: Mendoza, Pavia, and Love. That's mine.
Okay. But I just think I don't remember seeing the official list because there should be an invite list on ESPN of the guys that are invited. But I think they've narrowed it down. They've got who they think is going to be. The list is going to be. So like these conference championship games, I know I saw the man from Highly Opinionated, Mr. Josh, say that he thinks the winner of this Oregon-Ohio State game wins the Heisman. I mean, not Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, Ohio State game wins the Heisman. That could be the case, but it all depends on when these voters decide to send these votes in, because these votes have to be in by a certain time. And I don't know. I think the deadline is Tuesday after the championship games by a certain time. Now, of course, we can do it electronically. I don't think it's the old system where you got to snail mail it back in. So that's an option for them as well. Just my thoughts on it.
Okay.
And before I get to the comments, my quick question was, who's your Heisman winner right now as we're entering championship week? Don't piss me off.
Mine's
I think honestly, he went the young man that went into Penn State and won the game on the last play. I think it's for Fernando Mendoza's the Heisman winner.
Yeah, I like Mendoza up there too. It's tough in my spot between him and Pavia, but I think Mendoza right now being on an undefeated squad and that big finish against Penn State was amazing. I mean, they sucked in the first half. Sucked. And
I don't know if he's going to talk to me because I know he was campaigning for Love. I just don't think the committee. It's Matty does this, and I love when he does it. He was doing it when they were making their list. He was saying, this isn't what I feel. It's what I project is going to happen. And my projection is that I think the committee is going to give this to a quarterback. I think the Heisman has become a quarterback's award. I understand. I know what you're going to say.
I think so too.
185. What was it? 185 carries, 1,300 yards is what I think I heard y'all say.
Yeah.
I wouldn't guess. I wouldn't doubt he has probably 300 to 400 receiving yards, but I just don't see the writers now rewarding running backs and other players for their special seasons.
I'm gonna say this. Yeah, I'm a little upset. I'm a little upset because you didn't pick our guy, Jeremiah Love. But I don't like that the award reserved for the best college football player in the country is basically the Davey O'Brien and the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award are for quarterbacks.
Yes.
The Doak Walker Award is for running backs.
Right.
The Maxwell Award is another award that it used to go hand in hand with the Heisman, because if you won the Maxwell, you won the Heisman. Went hand in hand. So a couple of years it didn't. When you shook your head like that, Jack, I was like, yeah, a couple of years you didn't. One person won, somebody else won the Heisman, but it's supposed to be your best player, and not having the best player win it.
Well, I mean, you made an argument earlier about Rocky Ismail one year. There's a year that Ndamukong Suh should have won it, probably over everybody that was in his class that year.
Yes.
Not what quarterback they gave it to. There's a year that what's the guy from Oklahoma, White. He won the award one year, and there was a running back behind him that should have won the award instead of going to him. we have these instances where the committee has fallen in love with the quarterback and they won't let go. And that's the problem now with the award is it's like the NFL MVP. It's now become centered around one position, and they've overcorrected so much to make sure they cover the quarterback because he's the most criticized position in the world and in the country. That there you go.
All right.
Yeah. Well, you know, what I say? No, I was waiting for y'all to wrap this up. I had something to throw out there.
Go ahead, because I'm gonna run through the comments when you finish.
All right, that sounds great. You know, guys, there's a guy playing right down the street in College Park that needs his flowers for the game he had last weekend, and that goes to Malik Washington, University of Maryland quarterback. This game was sick. I mean, they was playing Michigan State, you know, and they ended up losing by 10 points. But Malik Washington was 38 completions now. A lot of cats don't even take 38 attempts. He was 38 for 61 for 459 yards, 3 touchdowns, quarterback rating of 138.3. I don't know. I mean, I hope Loxley can keep him in Maryland, in College Park, but this might be a quarterback that's going to shine in the near future, Malik Washington. So there was a lot of quarterbacks that shined this last week. Lenore Sellers, that boy at North Texas, Midnight Riders guy, Mestermaker, Chambliss had a big game. So I just wanted to talk about Malik Washington's almost 450. It was 459 yards, passing yard game. So that's a hell of a lot of slinging right there, buddy. 38. Woo. So yeah, thanks. I just wanted to bring that up.
All right. And I'm gonna say this to Midnight Rider, and everybody listening, talk about the Heisman being a quarterback trophy. And 45 and 46, where you had Doc Blanchard and Glenn Davis, Mr. Inside and Mr. Outside winning back-to-back years. A running back and a fullback won it on the same team, back-to-back years. It's possible.
Wow, you're not gonna like this, KG. I'm looking at some of the odds they got. They got Mendoza number 1 plus 115. Then they got Sayin plus 140, and then they got Pavia plus 300. No love there in the top 3.
Of course. Anthony said, justify Oklahoma being over a 10-win BYU or Miami.
Strength of schedule. Period.
And he said, for you guys, how badly do both Indiana and Bama have to get blown out in their conference championship to kick them out of the top 10?
Indiana can get blown out by 100 and they're not getting kicked out. They're undefeated.
I think if he's been listening to College Game Day, now maybe the committee hasn't adopted this, but I know one Nicholas Aloysius Saban has been on TV advocating for and saying that he hopes that the conference games don't count in the rankings, so they can play the conference game, and if they lose it, just because they're 9-3, but because they play that extra game, that shouldn't affect. He's done this campaign every week since they started talking playoffs, and I know why he was doing it, because he knew that Alabama was going to be in this situation, and if they lose to Georgia, he's got to have it already in their minds. You know what I'm saying? It's like what they say when they whisper that sweet nothing in your ear, that sweet nectar in your ear. That's what he's doing right now. He keeps saying it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. J-Dub checking in. What's happening, J-Dub? Glad you could jump in here with us. Anthony said, taking your guys' fan out of it as Notre Dame fans, that Jeremiah Love had the elite running back season to justify him winning the Heisman, like you saw with Trent Richardson. In my opinion, yes, because he has done the damn thing.
Yeah, no,
that's me.
You're talking about two different backs. Trent Richardson was a downhill
between the tackles.
Banger. Yeah, he a banger. And then his problem was when he got to the league, you know, we can talk about his struggles, but that's not for today. Mm-hmm. And then Jeremiah Love is just an explosive back. I'd rather you compare Love to like a Gibbs or Bijan more so than the Trent Richardson. But
Yes.
let's hit the last couple of these. Let's not try to respond to them. Let's just get them out and then.
All right. Maddie said, saying going to New York too. As J Dub said, Jeremiah Love is my Heisman. Hey, this is why. This is why.
Man, he a Notre Dame fan too.
But J Dub said it, but it's more of a quarterback award nowadays. That's true.
It really
And
is.
Anthony said the Cuban Missile, Fernando Mendoza. So,
Yes, they is.
all right, gents, let's jump over to the NFL. This one right here, we got to recap the nickel from Sunday. Starting off, Texans 20, Colts 16. Shout out to Carly Irsay Gordon. She is starting to become one of my favorite people in the NFL. She had to grow on me. I had to look at it from different eyes. So thank you, Midnight Rider, for that. I'll give you your flowers for opening my eyes to that. So thank you for that. I mean, I know you kind of sweet on it because she hired you for your first coaching job. So I understand. But the Colts lose this game by 4. Shocking loss, in my opinion. CJ Stroud, 22 of 35, 276, 1 INT. Jaquavius Marks, 19 carries, 64 yards. Nico Collins had 5 receptions for 98 yards. For the Colts, Danny Dimes played really, really good in this game. 14 of 27, 201, and 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor, 21 carries, 85 yards. Alec Pierce had 4 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown. Gentleman Jack, take it away.
Well, I'll tell you what, that Houston Texans defense, it slowed down this Colts high-powered offense, high-scoring offense, leading scoring offense in the league. So I give big dap to the Texans defense. They've been fun to watch too. The Colts struggled. They were 3 for 10 on third downs. Jones did have a big game, but 3 for 10 on third downs is not going to help you put points up. Houston almost gave it back to them with 9 penalties for 85 yards. They just had too many stupid penalties in Houston. And a big play, guys, was a 3rd and 15 play in the fourth quarter when there should have been a delay of game called. It was clearly 0 for a while. And then there ended up being a pass interference call that gave Houston the automatic first down, and they ended up scoring. So that would have been a punting situation right there. I just don't get it. The refereeing, there's been a lot of mistakes by officials this year and last year. Soon they're gonna just make bots do this shit, man. Well, AI gonna do the officiating. But I thought it was a great game to watch. And Houston's on the move, sitting at 7-5 right now. Midnight Rider.
They always say defense wins championships, and I think Houston's defense has a star on every level. Whether it's the 2 ends, whether it's they got Stingley at the corner, they're just dangerous, and they're unapologetic about how they attack you on every level, from every level. I watched their ESPN matchup the other morning, and it was just like, where don't they blitz from?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only person that didn't blitz was Bobby Boucher. It was just it was ridiculous, man. And this ball game, you got to give a shout out to Danny Dimes for riding on that leg. I know it's a pain level thing more than anything else.
Yeah,
I don't know how long he can do it. I don't know what his treatments are during the week, but I mean, with modern medicine, we can make things happen, and guys will play week to week. I remember them talking about Trent Williams looking like he couldn't walk on Friday, and then all of a sudden he's full go on Sunday. So I'm gonna let modern medicine do its thing. But back to this ball game, I think the Texans are one of those teams. Like we're gonna say this not today.
Did I lose
and
that?
it could be a drinking game, but if this team makes the playoffs, they're gonna be trouble, and I don't know who wants to see them. I think we'll say it a couple of times with some of the other games that we talked about, but the Texans are one of those teams that you want Jacksonville and Indianapolis to handle business, so this team can't get in. But I think the problem is when Kansas City beat the Colts, they opened the window, and I think the Texans are trying to cram that window open the rest of the way. and make their way through to get into the playoffs.
All right.
Yeah, no, that whole division tightened up. That whole division, AFC South is tight. Indy 8-4, Jacksonville 8-4, Houston 7-5. You know, everybody got to play the Texans twice, so that's that's padding your win stats. Texans sitting down the bottom and a lonely 1-11. And yesterday, all AFC East teams won. Every team from the AFC East won yesterday. New England, Buffalo, Miami, and the Jets won this weekend.
All right. Next game. You got Panthers versus Rams. Panthers 31, Rams 28. Matthew Stafford in the losing effort, 18-28, 243, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Blake Corum, 7 catches. Oh, that daggone timer's on. That's why I hate this new stuff. Blake Corum, 7 carries, 81 yards, and a touchdown. Xavier Smith had 3 catches and 82 yards for the Panthers. Bryce Young, who got a little shine on the greatest pregame show, which is Fox Sports NFL pregame. I'm sorry, Fox NFL pregame. He was 15-20, 206 and 3 touchdowns. Chuba Hubbard, 17 carries, 83 yards, and Jalen Coker, 4 catches, 74 yards. Gentleman Jack, take it away.
Well, you know, man, when you got Bryce Young throwing 3 touchdowns to end the Rams' 6-game streak, Bryce Young's playing some ball. But Stafford throws 2 interceptions, one of them for a pick 6. Turnovers are going to hurt you. If you look at the game numbers, almost all of them lean toward the Rams. But good field position, giving the ball over for points and good field position is never going to help you. So I think this is just a tough lump for the Rams. And I'll tell you, I lost every pick Thanksgiving Day. I did pick the Bears Friday, but I had a hell of a pick week this week, man. Who would have thought Carolina was going to beat the Rams? Not this guy. So, yeah, Carolina improves to 7-6, and the Rams dropped to 9-3. That's a big move for Carolina, guys. They right there fighting with Tampa Bay, 7-6 versus 7-5. So it's gonna be a fun next 5 weeks. Midnight Rider?
The NFL is the ultimate soap opera. They've set it up, and the teams have done their part to put a situation where these games now, these last 4 weeks, everybody cried about it early on. Why are the division games late? Now look at it. Because now everything gets set in stone. Everything gets settled. The Panthers, I think, played Tampa Bay twice in the stretch, if I remember that. And I know if Josh is in here, he'll correct me. I know they mentioned it earlier on Unapologetic, but the Panthers are one of those teams that they do enough ugly. They ugly the game up enough that with their running games, with Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard, they make the game theirs. And that's all they've done. They've run the ball down people's throats. They make it a physical ball game and let you figure out the rest. And that's the only way they can win. And Canales has figured it out. Bryce Young doesn't hurt them. He could still never be my quarterback, but still, he doesn't hurt this team because he doesn't make, when he makes mistakes, they lose. When he doesn't, they win. It's
True.
It's a very simple equation. So with that being said, I think this is a situation where the Panthers got the 2 turnovers and stole the ball game. I like some good.
Next up. This one has some fallout, some backlash.
Oh, man.
Seattle Seahawks 26, Minnesota Vikings 0. Goose egg. Nada. They started Max Brosmere. Who?
Yeah, Minnesota.
This cat was 19-30, 126, and 4 picks. Jordan Mason had 6 carries, 47 yards. TJ Hawkinson had 6 catches, 59 yards. And if I'm not mistaken, Justin Jefferson had 2 targets, or 4 targets, 2 catches, 4 yards. Adam Thielen was released after this game because I think he said something about the quarterback situation.
No. So this was them doing Thielen a solid. Thielen asked to be released to see if he could go somewhere where he could play for a competitor. The irony of the situation is he did the same thing to go to Minnesota because he thought the Vikings would be better than the Panthers. And now the Panthers sit on the verge of possibly making the playoffs. And then Thielen signed today with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Steelers.
I thought he said he wanted to go to a competitor. We'll get into that later. That's the next game we'll cut. We'll get into that. Sam Darnold was 14 to 26, 128. Kenneth Walker had 13 carries, 56 yards, and AJ Barner, 4 catches, 35 yards. Gentleman Jack, take it away.
Well, you didn't mention this is the first shutout for Minnesota. I mean, for Seattle. This is Seattle's first shutout since the Legion of Boom 10 years ago, guys. The Legion of Boom. Them boys was playing. But Minnesota now, in my opinion, they should be the laughingstock of the NFL for letting a guy that had 14 wins and is a veteran quarterback like Darnold, you let him go after last season and hand the reins over to J.J. McCarthy? I tell you, they looking like a joke over there in Minnesota. Minnesota had 5 turnovers. You can't win like that. I understand. Brosmer, this is his first start. Ooh, first start, 4 pickles. That's not good. And as I said, he came out of Minnesota, so he's playing Big Ten football. But if you look at Seattle's scoring on this, guys, and Midnight Ride, I want you with me on the end of this, okay? So stay with me, brother. Minnesota scoring. Justin Meyer, field goal. Jones, pick 6. Field goal from Myers. Field goal from Myers. Field goal from Myers. And you know what the last score was, Midnight Rider?
Talk to me.
Touchdown from Zach Strawberry.
Stop on there. Stop on there.
So I saw that. It's just like, man, what was it? Just a field goal clinic? I mean, they Seattle got to put the ball in the end zone, dude. If Minnesota wouldn't have turned the ball over like they did, they probably would have beat Seattle's ass. Turnovers cost Minnesota this and created the shutout. Field position was outrageous. I mean, but it was like Seattle got the ball in field goal range a couple times, and that's what they ended up getting, a field goal. So it was a great win for Seattle, but I don't feel that they are running on 8 cylinders. So we'll see what happens. Minnesota's pretty much in a pickle, 4-8. Seattle's trumping along, 9-3. Who'd have thunk it? Not this guy. Minnesota?
No, that's great information. I just think I disagree with you guys. You and Lee Ice on the Sam Darnold thing. I think for the money, I think they didn't want to invest 3 years into him. And I think Seattle showed that they were willing to, and that's the reason they lose him. The problem, I think sometimes you gotta take your shot, man. If that's the kid you thought was going to be, if he's the guy that you thought he was going to be on draft day, you have to take your shot and roll with him, and just be wrong. I think the problem with this league is sometimes teams don't understand it's okay to be wrong. You took your shot, you were wrong, I think because we're living on the other side of it. Because we go to Miami and you ask the fans of Miami, is Tua worth $55 million? They're gonna say no.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of taking the risk and being wrong on the risk you took was the guy that you were safe with. So
I'm high.
Sometimes you gotta, like, it's a give and take. Like, somebody would probably sit there and say, "Oh, Dak Prescott, he's not worth $65 million." Well, he got to be worth it to somebody because he got paid it. And the thing is, a lot of teams don't want to. If you got a quarterback you're comfortable with, you're not going to move off of him. And that's part of the problem. Is some of these guys are getting paid out of fear.
Yeah.
So, but to this game, I just thought, I think the kid Brosmer was in a no-win situation. I mean, he started at New Hampshire, ends up at Minnesota. I don't know many great Minnesota quarterbacks that were picked for the third string that's going to come in and do damage, especially when this team has shown inability to run the football on a consistent basis and eat up yards. They can't make the game short for the kid. And that's the job they should have done. They should have made this game short for the kid, and he shouldn't have to put the ball in harm's way too much. But it doesn't always work out that way.
Well, Minute Rider, I've always been high on J.J. McCarthy since draft day. I was high on him at Penn State. I wanted Washington to draft J.J. McCarthy with the number 2 pick. But I felt sign Darnold 2-3 years, J.J. sits behind him like quarterbacks used to do. And I think he would have been better prepared for NFL games than he is right now.
All right, well, think about this. You got him on a rookie deal. That's a 5-year deal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have to activate the 5th year. If he sits behind Darnold for 3 years, we're at year 4. You don't know what you have in your building. That's all I'm saying. You don't know what you have. So you got to if you guys feel like, what are we going to do here? What are we doing here?
Yeah, it's a different league.
J-Dub said Darnold has to prove it in the playoffs, which is where he fell off last year in the playoffs. And he said McCarthy played at Michigan.
Oh, my bad. You're right, Jack. My bad.
All right. Next up, Bills versus Steelers. Bills 26, Steelers 7. Josh Allen 15-23, 123, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick. James Cook 32 carries, 144. Also had 3 catches for 33 yards. Aaron Rodgers 10 of 21, 117. Jaylen Warren 10 carries, 35 yards and a touchdown, and Darnell Washington 2 catches for 45 yards. Gentleman Jack, take it away.
Buffalo laid the smack down. This was a tough day to play football. It was blustery out there. It was mixed precipitation. It wasn't an easy day to throw or kick in Pittsburgh, as a lot of people know. That's what happens this time of year. And I'm looking forward to a lot of the cold matchups coming. You got the cold matchups where the folks from down south can handle that cold. So it's going to be fun when all this cold weather starts. But Pittsburgh and Buffalo had quite a chilly game. But Buffalo dominated this game with their rushing attack. One of the best rushing attacks in the league, 249 yards on this day. Josh Allen, he got his 76th career touchdown, which is the most by any quarterback. He just broke Cam Newton's record of 75. Kristen Benford, that guy had one hell of a game for Buffalo, guys. He got a scoop and score early in the game, and then he got an interception. So kudos to Christian Benford, man. Pittsburgh couldn't get nothing going. Rodgers was eating turf all day. Came out a couple times, nose was busted up. Pittsburgh couldn't get nothing going. They don't have a run game, so dink and dunk wasn't working. And I know Pittsburgh's tied for the lead right now in the AFC North, but at 500, that's not saying much. That league's going to be a trip, man. There's 3 games from Cleveland in last to Pittsburgh and Baltimore in first. 3-game difference. That's it. With what? What we got? 5 to go? Yeah, 5 to go. So that game was just old football. And I like the way Buffalo pounded the rock. As my boy Richard Paraguay said last Sunday on his predictions. Pound the rock. That's what I saw, Midnight Rider. What'd you see in this chili bowl?
Buffalo needs a playmaker. Not named James Cook and not named Josh Allen.
Shakur?
Huh?
About Shakur?
What about him? I said I need a playmaker.
Playmaker.
I didn't say they need a player. I said they need a playmaker.
She
Difference
cursed,
there.
man.
There's a difference there.
Man, take it,
And I
yo.
think I totally icing them on unapologetic. I think a person like a AJ Brown this all season, they got to go and get something this all season to put with this quarterback.
A
You
Rice, a
can't
Worthy. Yeah.
this with just James Cook and I think this is a team that they can handle. And this is a team they can beat. It's going to be interesting how this plays out. This isn't a team I worry about in the playoffs because I don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs.
Who?
Buffalo. You have to worry about that because the way this is all tangled up.
I did. They're gonna make a wild card at least.
It's possible. I'm not saying that they can't, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of teams right here. I think there's 7, if memory serves me correct,
I'm counting right now.
in the playoffs.
You're correct.
The
You're
7
correct.
seed. So that's no guarantee you're gonna make it. The team that you gotta watch out for making it on. Well, that's another scenario. I'm not gonna get into those scenarios. No, 26 Bills, 26 Steelers 7.
Yeah.
I felt like the Bills beat up on the Steelers all day. They can play this game 10 times, and all 10 times Buffalo wins, and it's gonna look just like this.
Mhm.
Now I'm gonna say this, and I was gonna save my commentary for the last game of the night, which is coming up, but I gotta disagree with you that they have to find somebody outside of James Cook, and I think you have to ride James Cook the way you would ride Thurman Thomas, the way you would ride dare I say it, Earl Campbell, but the way you would ride a number 1 running back, Franco Harris. You know, you would ride those guys to the playoffs, and you kind of save everybody else because they don't have the receivers to really do what they want to do. So you got to ride that running back. Would you have signed Thielen?
No. You need a dog. That's why I said this is an all-season thing. Buffalo's cast this lot for this season. But this all-season, Buffalo got better do everything they can to get somebody in that building. That's going to be a difference maker. Because whatever they got going on with Keon Coleman, he's obviously not one of those people.
Okay. J Dub said, I think the Chiefs will miss the playoffs this year. And speaking of the AFC real quick, the Patriots 1, the Broncos 2, Jaguars 3, Ravens 4 as right now. Chargers 5, Colts 6, Bills 7. On the bubble are the Texans, Steelers, Chiefs, that's 8, 9, and 10, Dolphins, Bengals, Jets, and even the Browns are all on the bubble. For the NFC, the Bears are number 1 in the NFC. Rams are 2, Eagles 3, Buccaneers 4, Seahawks 5, Packers 6, 49 and 7. On the bubble is the Lions at 8, Cowboys at 9, Panthers at 10, Falcons at 11, Vikings at 12, Commanders at 14. The Cardinals, Saints, and Giants have been eliminated, and the Raiders and Titans have all been eliminated. So
a team that, to go into my drinking game, that you don't want to make the playoffs because they can be dangerous. It's 2 teams. One is the Cincinnati Bengals. If the Bengals the next 2 weeks, the next 3 games they play is it's like the last 3 games is like Arizona, Miami, and Cleveland, if memory serves correctly. So they can if they can win, they can finish out. They finish out, I think, at 9 and 8 or something like that. And they could be possibly tied for the lead in the division. And if you win the tiebreakers, guess who wins the AFC North? The Bengals. The Ravens haven't shown me anything the last 2 weeks to make me worry about them. Lamar looks like he's hurt. I don't know what it is, but so that's a situation there. And Pittsburgh, we just talked about Pittsburgh getting bludgeoned by Buffalo. So I don't know what they got left. You know, they in the corner with their eye bloodied up and battered. And they talking about cut me, Mick, because they got to try to see their way through the rest of this fight. Mick got his hand on his back, tapping him, telling him how many fingers he got put up. So this is they in trouble, man. And then the other team on the NFC side, I think Josh brought it up earlier. It's the Cowboys. I don't care what y'all say. The Cowboys, they got enough offensively now, and their defense is good enough. Jerry accidentally fell into some good GM in this year. The Quentin Williams trade, you put Logan Wilson in the middle, and you allow Overshown, the kid number 0, to fly around the field, and that's changed the dynamics of this defense. And they can get up. If they get a lead, they can let the dogs loose because their corners aren't good, but they're good enough if they can get pressure. So be careful. Don't let the Cowboys into the dance.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Because I don't know what Philly is.
Philly don't know what they are.
I don't either.
Philly has went from world champions to back to the Shields because they don't have an identity. They don't know what they are. Like, if we were playing dominoes, I'd tell them tuck their skirt because we don't know what you are. Tuck your skirt.
They 8-4 though.
That's an ugly 8-4.
It sure is. I agree. But if they can turn it around, Jesus Christ, they can end up 12-4.
Yeah.
Sorry, 12-5, 12-5, 13-4, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying they are. They don't have any identity, and I think it's from the beef you hear amongst players on that roster. It was AJ Brown bitching about something at one point, and then I've been waiting to see if Saquon's going to bitch because they ain't giving him the rock enough. In my opinion, they're not giving Saquon the ball enough, and it's so funny how you had Saquon Barkley and the Baltimore Ravens, Derrick Henry, were both outrageous numbers. They know where to be found in the rushing stat leaders now. You know, Jonathan Taylor's up there, but Henry and they just aren't doing the same things they were doing last year. I don't understand. Is it the line, the blocking schemes, how many times they're touching the ball? I don't know what the difference is between them two running backs, but their numbers are down tremendous. I don't get it.
You got Lane Johnson out right now for a couple weeks. Your guard center guard combination has changed over the last couple of weeks. You know, Landon Dickerson matters. Unfortunately for them, Jason Kelce ain't coming back through that door. And they've started like 2 other centers this season. They started Toth, who was here as our third center. He started some games. Like, their line has been broken. And then I think the play calling has affected it as well. And that's why you haven't seen the explosive runs like you saw last year.
Okay.
KG?
Last but not least, Broncos 27, Commanders 26. This was your Sunday night game. If you guys don't mind, once I read the stats, I would like to go first to get it off my chest.
Sure.
Bo Nix, 29 of 45, 321, a touchdown and a pick. RJ Harvey had 13 carries, 35 yards, and 2 TDs. This went into overtime, matter of fact. Evan Ingram, 6 catches on 1 route, 79 yards. Let me rephrase that. Run that back. 6 catches, 1 route. Like, Marcus Mariota, 28 of 50, 294, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He also had 10 carries, 55 yards. Zach Ertz, 10 catches, 106. I wanted to get excited about this game. I got excited watching it because I saw the defense play a little bit better. No, they played head and shoulders above the way they had been playing. They played very violently. They played with a sense of urgency. Only thing that pissed me off defensively was, like I said, Evan Ingram running the same route. And you telling me that he's giving you that in and out. He comes off the line, runs in, spins, and goes right back out, and Nix is finding them in the flat or finding them a couple yards downfield for easy first downs. We can't have that.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's kind of late, but you got to tighten that up. How do you not sit on that? Offensively, the ball moved. I mean, Zach Ertz was just catching the ball everywhere.
And dropping it.
He did. He dropped the touchdown. He had a couple of drops, but I'll say this right here during this 6-game slide, this was one of the better games that they played that I actually thought they had a chance to win. And going for 2 in overtime was gutsy. I just wish that Mariota wouldn't have tried to drill it and he would have kind of floated it out there.
Wide open.
Because he was trying to get the ball, that he would have walked in, that would have been game, let's go home. But if he would have floated that out there, I don't know if he had enough room to float it, to get it there on time, over the defender and everything. But I've never seen a fan base turn on not only a player in Terry McLaurin, but turn on a coaching staff. The way that this fan base has turned on them. And I think a lot of people they have delusions of grandeur, and they're very delusional in what they're thinking, because what you want is something that is not attainable right now. Remember, we're still building, and you want something so bad that you're willing to say, you know what, they're building something here, but I want to blow it all up and start all over. That's PTSD from the former regime, where if something doesn't work the first 2 years, you blow it up, you start all over, you get something good, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work again. The next thing you know, you blow it up. We're going to be in the same cycle, spinning your wheels over and over and over and over. This was an off year. Let's get through this year, figure out what we need to tighten up on. What we need to tighten up on, we need to spend some money in the secondary, because we can't stop a nosebleed back there. I really think this was, even in a loss, and I've never been one to take a positive from a loss because it's a loss. I don't think this was a loss for the Washington Commanders. I think the Washington Commanders just ran out of time. Gentleman Jack, take it away.
Now, you hit a lot of points there that I was ready to talk about. The secondary tackling is weak. I mean, weak. They dive at their feet. That's it. So, and about the fans acting crazy, KG, that's because we had a great season last year, and there's a lot of new fans that used to be fans, but now they're back because we had a great season last year, and now they're acting like ass during a tough year. So that's all what you're gonna do. But as far as Washington-Denver game, I don't feel that Washington needs Mariota to rush 10 times and throw 50 passes. I know it was an overtime game, but I don't think he threw but about 6-7 passes in overtime. But anyway, the run game was on, and they only trailed by 10 most of the game, 10-7, 10-7, something like that. So I understand why they didn't keep the rushing game going like they did and had to revert to the pass game so much. Washington is a strong running team. Why does coach not put the foot on the pedal with that? I don't understand. And as far as the end of the game, yes, I felt Washington should have went for 2. It's what teams do that are in this point of the season with a record like we have. So I was all for that. I just thought Mariota should have checked down or called a hot route, something, because you seen that man coming from the left side. He was raising his hand. Hey, Marcus, I'm coming for you, brah. But no, he should have checked down or something. I think JD5 would have done that. So the loss, I think, is on play calling, and the play calling was kind of bad in overtime. We got a few breaks, but I thought Washington should have kept running, and I think they could have controlled the game better if they did it like that. The running game would keep Denver's offense off the field and Washington's offense on it longer. So I don't know, man. It was a disappointing game. I think it would have been a great win for Washington, a big morale boost. But, this season's in the can now, so I don't know what to do. Midnight Rider?
I'm a little confused. Because they had drives of 11 plays. There was a 10-play drive that got ruined by interception. There's an 18-play drive to tie the ball game to go into overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So they controlled the clock. They may not run the ball enough, but they controlled the clock and controlled the game. They had there were 2 bad penalties. The intentional grounding on the last drive.
Mm-hmm.
And that Mariota got tripped. And I'm not blaming the officials for this ball game. I think this game showed you 2 things. It showed you what could possibly be because you started getting weapons back. And then next week, I think this week coming up in Minnesota, you get Noah Brown, and then you see, what the receiving corps should have looked like going down the stretch. And I think they have a chance to, make some plays in these next couple of ball games with their offense because now they fully have their offense. I think their biggest issue all year is just they haven't had their full complement of offensive players. So you've never seen this offense. I don't even know if they practiced together in the preseason together as a whole. Because you were waiting for Cosme to come back from his leg injury. Like, I think this team was but because of their situation, they had some struggles and they played out this season. But they have a chance to at least try to salvage something in these next couple of weeks. But I just think we can't kill them for not running the ball because I think they had opportunities and I think they used their short passing game as part of their run attack. I just think we got to a spot where, they made a great call. Marcus tried to lace it because I think he was falling back, trying to give ground. And that's kind of a hard one because if he floats it, you see the safety realize what's going on. And maybe the safety hits the guy and it's a collision at the 1-yard line. I just don't know. I guess for me, I just don't know if there's definite or definitive. If he floats it, it gets there and it's a 6. Because that's where he was going. I think he was taking the check down and not the 2 slants. I think that was the idea. But, I think we at the end of a season that everybody's going to be frustrated and we're all not going to see the same thing eye to eye or see the same things. Because I'm going to see it one way and, KG's going to see it through his lens and you're going to see it through your lens. And I think the one thing I like about our show is, and I tell people this all the time, is we argue, but we're going to still respect the opinion because sometimes you'll realize that there's something there that you didn't see in the other person's argument. That's all I got.
You're absolutely right. You're getting 3 to 7 different arguments at one time.
Yeah.
So J-Dub was talking about Saquon and King Henry. He said they're not being played enough, not being used the right way. And Lee Ice said, can we please give Bobby Wagner his parting gift and send him on his way?
Oh, Lord. Can we hit up on Jack Wagner's previous comment, please?
About King Henry and Saquon?
About Kansas City.
Oh. Yeah, we got that. I think Kansas City will miss the playoffs this year. Yeah, we was talking about that during the playoffs.
Somebody said that preseason.
Yo, you know, Maddie stop these early season pats on the backs and shit. Maddie's over there talking about who had the Bears. Okay.
That's why I just say, Jack, your shoulder hurt.
It's good. But
you
man, nobody believes I said this, man. And it was just, I feel it's time, dude. It's time, Kansas City. I mean, they still got a chance. As KG says, there's a gleam.
And J-Dub said that every down back's talking about King Henry and Saquon.
Yeah.
And to Lee Ice's comment, I don't think Bobby Wagner's the problem. I think Bobby Wagner's leadership And his play, because he had a great pick in that game where he dropped back in the coverage. He sat right where the ball was going to go, and it's like, boom. All right. I just think we're not getting. I don't want to have revisionist history. I swear I don't. I just think that sometimes I think we traded the wrong person off that front line. Sometimes I think that don't. Not always, but sometimes I feel that way.
Well, you got Armstrong on IR too. That hurts. That boy was on pace for a 10, 12 sack season.
But final thoughts before we get out of here, fellas.
I just hope the donation that Jonathan Allen made to the household of the Giddens was substantial for this comment.
Broke them off.
I think I'm close to the. And it's funny because we've had arguments over the course of time, and I remember, I think it was on Podbean. Maybe it was when we got here. BJ used to talk about the Alabama boys.
Mm-hmm.
I like the team.
I had my fill of them. I was done. But you know what? I'm gonna change my course on this. Wrap it up. The Wizards won a basketball game yesterday, and that's huge because they don't win a lot. 129, 126, a nice comeback down late. Some of the young guys. The shout out I really want to give is to Koulibaly.
Who they beat? Milwaukee?
I think they beat either Milwaukee or Miami. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Milwaukee. It was Milwaukee.
Yeah. I saw some of that.
But the shout out I want to give is to Koulibaly because it seems like when this kid plays, he makes a difference for them defensively. Now I know you're gonna look at the stat line and you're gonna see Giannis with about 20 points. And that's not the impact he made. It's the way he made Giannis get the 26. And that might be a little defeatist to some people, but I think when you make a guy work to get their points, sometimes you can take the team out of rhythm. And I think in their comeback, Milwaukee was out of rhythm coming down the stretch and allowed the Wizards to make some shots and come back. And then CJ McCollum, I think he had 29 points yesterday, and that was huge. He was the key. And I'll give, you know what? I don't do this often. Bagley. I think Bagley had 20 points and 9 rebounds or something like that.
Dude.
So flowers today. But I mean, the second that, you know, Sarr and a couple other people come back, he'll be back in his rightful place at the 8th spot on the bench or the 9th. But it's all good.
But you know, Middleton had a good game, and I think he wanted that, you know, being a former Buck. I thought Middleton played well in a little bit of that game I watched. I probably watched 8 minutes, and I saw Middleton, and I think Smart was in the lineup in that game too, right? No, just Middleton. Okay. Middleton was definitely in the lineup. I've seen that. But I agree with you. Koulibaly did ball out, but he's got, you got to do it consistently in this league. And to piggyback off you talking NBA, I got to throw some shit out about NCAA basketball right now. Most teams got about 7 or 8 games under their belt. I can give you a quick wrap of the AP top. Let's go 10. Purdue, Arizona, Michigan, Duke, UConn at 5, Louisville, Michigan State, Houston, BYU, and Iowa State Cyclones at 10. I got North Carolina in the top 25 this year. They scare me a little bit. I like that squad. I don't say that often about a team from Chapel Hill, but they got a nice squad. And I like some players on there. Vanderbilt, they got a nice team moving up through this top 25 this year. Texas Tech. It's going to be a fun season of basketball. We got, a few more weeks, get this playoff bracket set. And I think we will be jumping into some basketball, college basketball for all you guys out there in Sideline Junkie Land. That's my wrap this up. What you got, KG?
Well, I just want to let you know that this show that you sat and watched today, the show before this, Unapologetic Sports, will be available in its audio form tomorrow morning at 8 and 9 a.m. respectively. So you can catch all the shows on the network in audio form the day after they air. Whatever you choose to stream on, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music UK, whatever you decide to use, just search Sideline Junkies. Make sure you follow us on that. And you can leave a like and a comment on the shows, just like you do here. So that's all I got. Let's get out of this thing. For the Gentleman Jack, the Midnight Rider, I'm the big guy, KG. Thank y'all for joining us. See y'all on the next one. We are out of here.